My name's Michael Edwards and I'm a third year psychology student at the University of New England, and I'd like to talk to you about phobias. If you have an unrealistic fear of something that's interfering with your day-to-day living, maybe you have a phobia. It could be snakes. If you're frightened of snakes or even of a picture of a snake, then I think you might have a snake phobia. If it's spiders, it could be a spider phobia, or it could be fear of small spaces, fear of flying, fear of heights, or even fear of public speaking. All of these are phobias. So if anything like that is interfering with your day-to-day enjoyment of life, then maybe you should consider overcoming that phobia and living for life to the full. So how do you do that? Well, we use something called cognitive restructuring and exposure therapy. With the cognitive restructuring, instead of you looking at a picture of a snake and saying, "Oh, wow, I'm frightened, it's going to bite me," you actually look at it and say, "That's unrealistic. It's a picture. It's nothing more. It can't bite me. It can't harm me. It can't do anything to me. It is just a picture." And so with that rethinking of your fear of snakes, you can use that all the way through this therapy to say, okay, nothing's going to happen. It's all going to be quite calm. So, in fact, have you ever seen a tree snake from North Queensland? They are actually quite beautiful. They're green backs, they've got a yellow belly, and they just swing around in the trees, taking in the tropical air, perfectly harmless. Okay, so now let's give it a go. What's the first thing we do? First of all, as with a picture, I'll give you a picture of a snake. And you first of all go, "Oh wow, that's a snake, I'm frightened of it." And then you say, no, the cognitive restructuring kicks in and you say, actually it's just a photograph, that's really silly. How could I be frightened of a photograph? And the more you hold it, and the more you look at it, and the more you think that way, the less the anxiety is, and it melts away. So then we take it up a notch. Maybe we play with a couple of plastic snakes. You know, the ones you can get at the toy shop or at the supermarket or even at the newsagents. And you have a look at these plastic snakes. You remember those ones you use, those lolly snakes you used to get at the supermarket, where you put one end in your mouth and you pull it like mad and it tasted fabulous and it just snap in half? Well, these are a bit the same, except they don't taste quite so good, but they're bigger. Okay, so you have a look at these plastic snakes, and the more you look at them, the more you say to yourself, they're just plastic snakes, they can't harm me, they can't do anything. So then you go to pick one up and okay, nothing happens, it's a plastic snake. So then we play with them a bit, and maybe we give them names, or maybe we juggle with them, but I think you need 3 to juggle, but anyway. So we have a couple of plastic snakes there. So the next thing is we take it up a notch, now that you're comfortable with the plastic snakes. We have a look at a video of a snake, a real one. So we're sitting there looking at this video, and you've got anxiety because you're looking at this video of the snake, you're saying, "Oh, it's a snake, no." And you say, no, cognitive restructuring, we're looking at that more carefully, it's just a video. Can't harm me, it's just doing snaky things, it's lying in the sun, it's enjoying itself, it's coiling up, it's uncoiling, but it's not doing anyone any harm. So the more you think about it, the more you say, my anxiety is just melting away here. Maybe we're playing with the plastic snakes at the same time and playing tug of war, and all of a sudden snakes are getting associated with a bit of fun rather than being fear. So then we take it up another notch. Let's have a look at a video of a girl at a zoo with a big python round her neck. So you say, no, that's a big python, it's going to bite her. But it doesn't. She's not frightened. And the more you look at it, the more you rationalise and say, well, that's just a picture, that's just a video, it can't harm me, it's just a snake, there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, wow, look at the size of that thing, it must be heavy, and it's got lovely markings. Pythons are quite harmless, actually they make quite good pets. So she's obviously not frightened of it because it's not going to do her any harm. So okay, so we've done that, we've got to that level. So now we take it up another notch. Maybe we go to the zoo, and this time we look at real snakes. And we go to the zoo enclosure and we look at the snakes behind glass. They're not going to harm you, they can't. They're behind the glass. And so the cognitive restructuring kicks in again. You say, this is unreasonable, being frightened of these snakes. And the longer we stand there, and the longer we look at them, and the longer we think about it, and nothing happens, the more you say, wow, well that's all that's going to happen. I'm not going to be frightened of snakes. So what's happened is you've had exposure therapy. We've step by step, we've increased the amount of snakiness that you've been exposed to, and at each stage you've reduced your anxiety to nothing. So now you're not anxious about snakes at all. So, hey presto, you're cured. That's it, no more snake exposure. I've had claustrophobia all my life, and I've always avoided small spaces, the backs of cars, small planes, lifts, all sorts of things, and it really does interfere with how you live. So I had that until I discovered exposure therapy. So I rethought it, and I thought to myself, what happens? Well, I get in a panic when I see a small space. I think, I won't go in there. I'll just get closed in, and then I'll go into a panic. So I did cognitive restructuring on myself. I said, no. You get locked in a room, what's going to happen? Nothing. You're not going to starve to death. You're not going to suffocate. Nothing's going to happen. So then I attempted to go into small spaces, and hey presto, what did I find? It was all in my mind. I wasn't frightened of them at all. It was because I thought I was going to be frightened of them. So now it's changed my life. I don't mind going in lifts. I'm happy to go into small spaces. I don't have to worry about someone locking a door behind me anymore, because it's never going to happen, and it doesn't matter if it does, because nothing's going to happen to me. So exposure therapy has worked for thousands of people across the world for all sorts of phobias, and it can work for you, or someone you know. So why don't you just try it?